And check, 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 check. Hello, hello, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Jordan, you there? Let me get a sound check. Hold, please.
How about now?
Yeah,
It's gonna be shitty.
I can tell.
I accidentally washed the headphones that had the microphone on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Jordan washed the fucking headphones, so they got a shitty fucking mic. They washed their headphones in the washer. Well, they use like earbud ones. Yeah. I'm gonna have to fucking use a tax write-off and get Jordan some. Zeus Bolt, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to our weekly album review stream. Today we got a couple special ones. We got, first on the docket, we've got a band called Indication. Not Inclination, Indication. Completely different, but also hardcore, so, you know. I got my Baja Blast ready to go. Carry the Spark is here, so we can finally do his Deadvectors that we will be doing after the first one. So we got two short ones. Indication, I think, counts as an album, but it's like 25 minutes, or it's something pretty short because it's hardcore. And then Deadvectors, Mauled, which I think is like 10, 13 minutes, something like that. And then we got a fat one that I didn't even know was coming out. It is 50 minutes, unfortunately. But it's RELIQA, so it should be good. Because we've enjoyed everything from that band since we've been following them here on the channel. So super exciting about that one. There was actually some good ones that came out this week. Where's my phone? I did have a slightly hard choice. I would have picked some other ones had we not had RELIQA, which was longer, of course. Surprisingly enough, Zeus Bowl, there wasn't any of the ones that you wrote down, except for one, I think. When I went through the list, at least when I say the list, it's Alan Harrington's list on Twitter, which was a lot of fucking albums. I skimmed through some songs. Let me pull up my notes real quick so I can tell you which ones they were. And for anybody listening, if you want any albums that might be good that we're not reviewing currently. So there was, here, I'll pull them up. We'll show. I'll try to do this sometimes when we have a little bit of time. So the ones I did not pick that were runner-ups, this band called Fight the Fight. They were kind of like a Tesseract-y kind of sounding band. Shah of Time. I don't know where this band is from, but said they're touring with Monuments, so you can kind of get what that sounds like. But here, let me turn this up. Genty kind of progressive stuff. I'm gonna have to go through this one. This was a runner-up. Then I also had a band called Bite Down, which was, I think they're like a sworn-in hackercore style band, so gonna have to check that one out too. You know, hackercore, but it sounded pretty decent. Then a band called Desolance. I don't remember which one this one was. Let me see. Progressive metalcore from UK. Just, progressive metalcore. Just sounded kind of decent. Ice Sealed. I only got two more. Ice Sealed Eyes, which was I think this was another. This was like newer metalcore, but it still sounded like, you know, okay. And I really liked the artwork and everything. And then lastly, and a really interesting one, I was really upset we didn't get to listen to this one, Lost Trees. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this one. Their artwork is really cool on all these albums, or singles, I guess. But they're post-hardcore, but like in like a I Am Abomination kind of way. It's like kind of heavy riffs, but like all cleans. And there's like actual like some really nice riffs in here that I skimmed through. See? Really kind of interesting. Really nice production. So check out that one too. Lost Trees. Those were all the runner-ups for the week. So I wrote them down so I can make sure I go back and listen to those. So and Zeusbold, if you listen to those, let me know what you thought. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. So this, I won't spoil too much from what I heard. I literally just skimmed through like a couple songs. So this is like hardcore, but they've got like some metalcore riffs. At least that's what I heard. What I think it sounds like. So yeah, kind of we came as Romans. That is where the I was trying to replace what the voice sounded like, and it does kind of sound like what's his nuts, Kyle. But this band is from Japan, another hardcore band from Japan. Getting a lot of interesting hardcore from Japan lately. So I believe this is debut. It looks like I don't see any other stuff. It has some features on it. Heaven Shall Burn, Mind Force. Really interesting features. So from what I heard, it should be pretty good. So Indication.
But for fans of the band Servitude, it was on whenever you were on the Bandcamp earlier.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go live on TikTok. I totally forgot.
Sounds like straight out hardcore.
It's alright, I'll wait. TikTok can wait.
The 90s.
Later. They've got some like kill switch, you know, a little bit of trivium. Yeah, TikTok. I figured I'd put TikTok on for RELIQA just because that one's longer. I can't have TikTok on while I'm recording, so that was just an intro, by the way. Really interesting. This features ex-Crystal Lake members. I saw something about, like, it was in Japanese, so I couldn't. I just saw something Crystal Lake, Sable Hills. I like that song. Maybe I can translate this. we go. New assassin appears from 168. Indication ultimate complete new school hardcore. Produced by the forbidden inbreeding of Birthplace and Crystal Lake. New band was formed by Baron. They remained silent since leaving Crystal Lake in 2011, so old Crystal Lake. Kaida from Sable Hills. I've heard that band before.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Early to mid era Statecraft. Yeah, definitely. That's metal. Okay, that makes sense. This is literally just Statecraft.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, it's really like old school metalcore, like for real old metalcore.
Statecraft did a split with Adam D and Joel's old band.
Sable Hills released an album last week.
Having cowboy guy.
The guitar is like really melodic. Like it's like upscale. Kind of like Means. If you think about Means, it's got that kind of bright kind of melody, but God. Next week is Darko with its 73 minutes runtime. That's gonna be fucking fantastic stream.
Comes out next year, or next week as well.
We're probably just gonna be doing Darko, like, in one stream.
I
have to take a break in between. In the middle of the album.
I do really want to do the In Heart and Wake album because they said it's like a companion piece to their first album. So it's like all connected.
You know you ain't listening. We have to listen to it. We have to do main releases. That's how we get views. We ain't gonna get shit for views if we skip shit like Darko. And I like Darko. They have good stuff. I just fuck, man. If it's another just jumbled up album of like, it's just gonna be like horrible.
Reminds me of For Dire, like.
Listen to your soul for what you should do. Use the food to trust. Strength out your will. Trust your will. I like the white zone. Fire step on my
we had the lyrics.
Right? It literally sounds like memes to me. That's what I get out of this.
Definitely the vocals kind of too.
Even that kind of
Kinda that,
pattern,
like-
the sending you strength. Maybe it's because they're talking about strength. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. See how bright, like, it's like a playful little.
Sounds like Smooth My Rollover.
Yeah.
Almost like classical music.
Let's see if I can find any lyrics. Oh wait.
Damn it.
This features a statecraft too.
Loyal to the Grave is really good. They're like more like hardcore.
Thank you, True, once a band. I had to get ready for. So what? I'm gonna stand out from. Kind of reminds me of old. It sounds like old Parkway Drive. And like, what's the fucking other Australian one?
I feel the problem.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
It's like even with those chugs they were using, kind of the scale of. They weren't just, you know. I tried to find out more about this band, but like I said, their name's just one word, so it's like indication. It's like really hard to. Indication Japan band. Like I don't know what else to type. Played their debut show in October.
Suddenly screams hard from deep. The courage to face the things you
Oh, nice. Or did they just share that, or did that play? I can't read that. Is that an indication, or is that... It is! They're playing the 4 hand stroke. That's cool. Good for them. That was the one that... That was the band... That was the show that someone had to drop, right? Who was it that dropped? And 4 hands, like, took their place. Where's it at? They shared it the other day. Oh, nice. They reposted this album coming out. God. Oh, Kublai Khan. That's right. Kublai Khan couldn't make it.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's right. Matt's like stepped out or whatever.
To review the Peacemaker or Girl of Glass EP. Did that come out this week, or when did that come
Girl
out?
of Glass. That's the band that Misanthrope Sketchy's band is touring with.
Yeah.
It's like super MySpace.
Yeah. And it came out in April.
Like even the production is like bad MySpace production. But the 808s are like crazy. They're like clipping ass 808s.
Alright, so it says the copyright says on that 2008 shit.
Yeah.
That's funny. New Mind Force win. I know they put out they had an album last year, right?
I think 2 years ago at this point.
Was it? Damn. God. So this is... Oh, sorry. Let me get back to this album here. Fuck. Where's the button? Okay, there it is. A little interlude here. Donnie Brasco has everyone beat on the MySpace production quality.
Even just the riff sounds like Statecraft, just straight up.
I mean, the production quality on this sounds pretty MySpace, to be honest.
It sounds like 90s production.
Yeah.
It's got like that kind of squishy, soft sound. Almost like it's recorded to tape or something. Cool.
Yeah, isn't that a Tool riff?
That's like every
Line them up. I'm still right here. And I'm still right here. Sorry, I'm a big Tool fan. Actually. Literally. Probably one of the first heavier bands of that. Yes, this is still indication. We're on the 7th out of 8 songs.
You understanding your country rules. I refuse move.
And this is really good.
Everything is.
It's like hardcore, but also like metalcore, like old school metalcore. You want to say metallic hardcore, that's fine, but it's very metalcore rippy.
That's metal, basically. Very European 8,000 band. Like Congress.
Hardened core metal. Excuse me. I feel like Nate's probably heard of this band. I love the breakdown out of nowhere, you know, just like... A little bit of gang vocals. Yeah, the old Frankie vocals.
Notice the lack of China symbol. Real hardcore.
Outro song. Let's go. Funny enough, you mentioned that Blunts. Said I wonder how many more Deadvectors albums and EPs. They made a video saying they were gonna stop because they've been busy. And they're gonna focus on album release. Maybe 2, I don't know. I don't remember if they said that. They're gonna, yeah. I said it reminds me of I Killed the Prom Queen, an old Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
And Means. If you've ever listened to Means, it sounds a lot like Means.
Wait, did I hear China?
You're about to finish a Recon cover? Hell yeah, brother. That brocore.
Recon is old school.
This album is in the tippy top of your top tier. I could see that. This is really good. I think I'm getting I Want to Die out of it. I think that's all I've gotten so far. An Emery song? Is it the Walls? Is it the Walls breakdown?
Yeah, you can do the wall. I'll do the snare.
We're getting a little. Gonna fade out.
So there was a China symbol. It was just they didn't use it that much.
All right. Indication. Oops. There it is. Okay. All right. Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think of that while we talk about it. All right, so we just listened to the new, I think, debut album from Japanese hardcore band Indication. So now we're going to talk about it a little bit, give you our thoughts, some track highlights, go into a deeper discussion with my co-host Jordan, and come back around and give you a rating for our on-the-spot first listen album review. So I had never heard of this band. I just saw them on the list of this day's releases. Skimmed through a couple songs and thought it sounded really interesting, so here we are. And I'm glad that I picked it. I think this is really really good, because I went into it because I read the little description on Spotify, said, and on their Bandcamp, hardcore from Japan. So I was like, okay, we've had some pretty decent hardcore releases from Japan recently. Actually, to be honest, Japan and like the UK are doing really, really good at a lot of the metalcore and hardcore as well. So I was like, okay, could get some hardcore. But there's surprisingly a lot of metal and metalcore in here. This band loves to use their scales. That's the most notable thing about this. They like to play with the riffs a lot. Very playful riffs, very bright riffs at times. So that's what like really reminds me of a lot of metalcore and even like melodic hardcore / melodic metalcore, like the band Means. If y'all know who Means is, I get a lot of that, and then some of like the darker tone stuff like I Killed the Prom Queen, things like that. So it was really surprising to hear a lot of those style of riffs coming from this, and it really worked really well, because a lot of it had still stuck with a lot of the tropes of like hardcore, had those kinds of song structures, with the build-ups and the breakdowns and two steps and all that, but still like kind of playful at times, which I really liked. I think probably my favorite tracks on here was, man, a lot of it was really good. Cleanse Your Mind, the last one on here, which was Dusk Falling, probably my two favorite, but really they were all really good. There's really like 6 actual tracks, or maybe even like 5, and then there's an intro, there's an interlude, and an outro. Well, the outro is a full track, so never mind. 6 and 8. Okay, whatever. Anyways, the fact that they also somehow find a way to fit that into like this really small, like 24-minute hardcore album, having the intro, you have like an acoustic kind of interlude, you've got this big kind of outro song, which is really just kind of like a repeated kind of breakdown. But again, the fact that they use the scales and stuff, which by the way, even when I'm talking like even when they're like chugging, they still like go up and down. It's not just like a basic fucking so it really gives like a lot of their songs a lot of movement, and honestly, like for hardcore, metallic hardcore, metalcore, I'm gonna call it just metalcore. Like it sounds like old Parkway Drive, it's got that kind of sound to it. For it doesn't sound like they're trying to be a throwback band. They just have those kind of movements, and it's still, but it still has, you know, some of the newer kind of tropes, which I really like. So for me, I thought this worked really, really well. And probably, I guess I would have to put this in an album, because I'd have to call this an album because it's too long for an EP. It's like 23 minutes, 8 tracks. So I want to. It's gonna be hard for me to say to put it like on my albums list. I'd rather it be on the EP list, but uh, I guess it's an album. Whatever, we'll figure it out. But either way, it's gonna be probably, close to the top. It'd be probably at least like top 10 so far of the year that I've heard. I thought this was really good. So, Jordan, what did you think about this?
I thought this was really good. It definitely gives a lot of hardcore, metalcore vibes, especially in the intro and the outro and like the little interlude. Like it's very much got that kind of like like the straight edge kind of like, I don't want to say hopeful kind of sound, but like very melodic, but very like very driving and very like energetic. Like I get a lot of those kind of vibes, like a lot of like strife or like I don't want to say hate breed, but like strife and like kind of like youth of today, but like also with a lot of like the metal kind of like guitar riffs and the vocals. So it's definitely a cool kind of like throwback without it being too much of a throwback. I feel like the most of the throwback sound is kind of like in the production. It's very like I don't want to say understated, but it's kind of like a very soft like mix. There's not a lot of like high end in the mix. It's mostly like in the cymbals. Um, which gives it kind of like a cool kind of contrast to the sound, but it's got like a kind of like analog type feel to it. And the music is like that as well. Like it's very like guitar, bass, and drums and vocals, it's very stripped back without like a lot of like extra stuff, other than like in the interlude guitar, but that's pretty much just like a 90s edge metalcore type thing. Like all pretty much every band had that kind of thing. Um, which I thought was kind of interesting because they didn't really do like the kind of like thing that all those bands kind of do, because we're usually like a lot of those bands they'll have like the intro be like the acoustic kind of like thing, and then like the yeah, so like it's kind of weird how they have like the acoustic track kind of like towards the end. But it also kind of gives it a little room to breathe, for the last two songs, and gives you a little time to kind of just like readjust. And then whenever it does come back in with like the heavy stuff, it's really good. I really liked. I think Strengthen Your Will was really good. I thought that one was really good. The one with Mind Force was really good. They got what's his name to come in at the end and do his New York hardcore thing. That was really cool. Um, even like the intro track was pretty good too. It's very very much melodic, like Michael was saying, with like where they kind of like move up and down the scales a lot whenever they're chugging, and it's like I said, kind of like a hopeful kind of feel. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's kind of got that like nice brightness. Reminded me a lot of like counterparts at times, especially whenever they would go into like the punk beats with like the melodic guitars and stuff like going over it. It's definitely very like counterparts. Um, Boundaries, even kind of like whenever they come in with like the layered spoken word vocals. So it's definitely got all those flavors, but the way they did it, it still feels kind of fresh and kind of new. It doesn't really feel much like a throwback album, only in
Yeah,
like production and
it
sound
feels
and kind of like
natural.
ethic.
Like it doesn't feel
Yeah,
forced.
yeah. Like this whole album kind of has like a kind of natural, kind of open feel. Um, like with the mix and like the music too. Like the music isn't very. It's not like too complicated to where it's like a jumbled mess and like you're just like not being able to keep up the riffs, but it's not like too simple to where it's like, oh, well, it's just like straight up hardcore, kind of like boring, you know. It's like right in the middle around where it's just playful enough, but like it's got the groove and like the nice, you know, punk kind of feels at times, and overall just has kind of like an umbrella of metal over it, which definitely gives it that metallic hardcore feel, which is not really a thing that we get a lot nowadays. It's mostly either just hardcore or metalcore. I guess there are some bands like Inclination and like shit, what's that other band from New York? Uh,
It starts with an I, right? No.
Yeah,
In fuck. Now I just want to say
Long
Inclination.
Island.
It's got they had the album from like last year. It's got the police car on it. I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I just can't think of it right now. Damn it.
Oh, man, I can't remember the band, but yeah, it's definitely got that kind of like in between feel, which I can definitely appreciate because you know going either way would have I think would have been like a it would have been fine, but I think it was definitely a lot more special with that kind of blend.
Incendiary.
Incendiary,
I
yeah,
had to Google it.
yeah, but this band, well, it's still kind of got that Japanese hardcore sound. Like a lot of the newer Japanese hardcore bands kind of have that sound where it's like, other than that one band that we just did, but even then, it's still kind of got that kind of quality, like that analog,
Mhm.
like almost recorded to tape kind of like feel. Very natural, very like warm, but still like very melodic and very like I guess hardcore at the same time. So it's definitely a cool kind of feeling. It's definitely really unique. Definitely like to see them live or something.
Mm.
That'd be cool. This is really something like I can see like a bunch of like pile ups and you know mic grabs and just people just beating the shit out of each other.
Furnace Fest. That'd be a good addition to Furnace Fest.
Yeah.
All right. What would you rate this?
Um, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. It's definitely very, really, really good. I just want to hear a little bit more. You know, I wish it was longer.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, it's like just on that spot where it's like, is it like a count? I know it's an album because there's 8 songs, but it's like 20 fucking minutes. So it's like, come, if there was just like a little bit more, like you know, like Knock Loose was like what 28 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
If there was just like a little bit more, like, because they've got the riffs for it. You know, it's not like you said, it's not like the kind of hardcore that like you can get kind of stale after a while. It's got enough of that, you know. They've got room to keep playing, So I think that's why it feels that way. Cause damn, I wish if I had the lyrics for it, to be honest, because I feel like I could give this a 10 out of 10, if I could connect with a little bit more. So maybe I could do some more research and find the lyrics for this. I don't have lyrics at all. I tried on stream, but I couldn't find any. But like barring that, like 9 out of 10, for sure, I could see it being a 10 out of 10. Like it's right there. Like so if I could maybe I could get some lyrics and read through it and listen through it again, I could probably change that later. But either way, still even at a 9 out of 10, I could see this being at least probably in my top 10 of the year so far. Yeah, I thought this was really good. So great job to Indication. All right.
fucking indication, inclination,
Inclination,
in
Incendiary. All right. Now, next up, jump into
Indie
this.
Club by 50 Cent.
Got a short one. This one was paid for by Carry the Spark. I feel like it was a couple months ago at this point. So thank you, Carry the Spark. for this one. We had it lined up, but Carry the Spark wasn't in here, and I was stupid, and I was like, oh, we'll wait for him. And then of course he showed up like in the middle of it. We're like, God damn it, I should just fucking done it. He wanted Mauled, or I think it was this Execute, which was a split. But I chose the Mauled just because there's a bunny, and I believe this came out right around Easter, like April 1st. So it's like an Easter themed album, which is pretty fucking funny. So yeah, here we go. And all these songs are very short too. These are all like under 2 minutes, except for one, and it's 3 seconds over 2 minutes. So this will be interesting. So here we go. Deadvectors, Mauled. Let's go. I feel like this is definitely going to be a very fast album. Gotta love Deadvectors groove. They always gotta go in there. It's gonna be a two-step? Oh, it's a toe touch. It's a toe touch, that's what it is. Right in between. Jesus. They just jumped into the next song.
It sounds like the new Knockers.
Someone like Knock Loose needs to get Kenny on a song. This is their hardcore-esque death metal and grind influencing team. Yeah, you can tell by, like I said, the speed of this. Zeus Bolt's second favorite EP by them for this year. Excuse me. What was the other one? I know I missed a few of them. I still haven't checked out the Tundra one and then like the Cyberpunk one. I don't think I've listened to either of those.
Like, and
it's very like a little bit of a spite right there. A little bit of a spite kind of yell. Gravity Wave. That's the one we did. We did that one, yeah. Reminds me, because Gravity Wave, I really liked the album art. I really like, my favorite thing is when bands use their name as part of the artwork. Like this. As opposed to just slapping it on there. Because one of the releases this week did that. Can't remember what it's called right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Bone Carver. Bone Carver had an EP. And they did that with their artwork, and I thought it was really cool. That's fucking cool. More bands need to do that. Utilize your name in the artwork. I should say. Super simple, too.
They kind of did it in this where it's like out of focus.
This reminds me of like the early Deadvectors stuff, but that when we first started listening to them, where it was just nasty, like, oh my god.
There's that never the theory.
Yeah. But then Deadvectors started doing melodic shit, and they spoiled me, because now that's all I want to hear. I'm like, oh, that shit's so good.
I haven't listened to everything in a while.
I like how it's really like kind of more like one long song. Ooh. Like they all go into each other. It's the way they wrote it, it's really just one song. Oh. God damn.
That was almost like a mirror breakdown.
Yeah. Fucking snare. You say bow your ears? Is that... Are they talking about bunnies and their ears? Is that what that is? Hey, that's the title of the song, by the way. kind of like an Amir groove right there too. Lots of 808s. They went all out of the 808s on this one.
Like little sprinkles on your ice cream.
Oh, that fucking tone, Jesus Christ. This would be a good live song. Just like people would just be fucking ugh. Just a hype song, just kidding.
To open up with that.
Yeah. That or This Is Your Last Chance, but an opening song would be a good one, yeah. Oh. Jesus Christ. What a what an ending track. God damn.
This band just does not make bad music.
Oh man.
They're incapable of making anything bad.
That was pretty crazy. That's probably definitely one of my favorite EPs from them, I think. It was really solid. Really well put together. I'm not gonna record this one because I know it's older and I'm not gonna I'm not ever gonna get around to editing and posting it, but I'm gonna leave it up because Kenny usually comes across them. But we're still gonna do the discussion part. I'm just not gonna hit the record button. So yeah, we just listened to the Deadvectors Mauled EP. This one was donated by Carry the Sparks. Thank you for that. We've been following this band for a couple years now. Everything they put out is pretty much always different. Very still, they have the Deadvector sound, but everything they put out has like a certain like specific idea in mind when they write it. And I think this was probably one of my favorite for being like an EP, for being such a small little chunk, and not having any, like I said, my favorite stuff from Deadvectors was when they do the melodic stuff. So the Gray album and the fucking other one, can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but this with not having any of that is still very top tier for me. I think this reminds me of when we first heard Deadvectors, when we were like, what the fuck, like we were just like mind blown. And there was a lot of that kind of feel in here. It was just constantly like changing, but surprisingly enough, it feels like one song in a way, because they tie every song together. It leads into the next song, but each one is like a minute and a half. So realistically, I've heard songs that are longer than this. This is only 11 minutes, and I feel like they just sat down and wrote really one long fucking song, except for Mauled maybe at the end, literally just a hype song. Deadvectors, if you're watching this, if you ever do play a live set, play that one first. Just that's all you gotta do. Trust me, it'll work. But yeah, I think they packed a lot in here. Again, for it just being like heavy kind of, I wouldn't even really call it ass beater stuff. It is ass beater, but like that's not like the focus of it. It's very still a lot of crazy like riffs and technical stuff and change ups. So they really cram a lot in, for those 1.5 minute songs. I think they did really well here, and especially even having, you know, kind of a theme to it. It's got the little Easter kind of with the bunny on it, and I you know, I don't have the lyrics, and I had to guess most of the time as to what he was saying, but I'm pretty sure he said some shit about ears in there. So you know, it's kind of a little funny kind of thing, especially because it came out on April Fools too. So yeah, I think this was really fucking good, really cohesive. And this was probably in my top tier of Dead Vectors releases, surprisingly. So again, thank you, Carry the Spark, for requesting this one. So Jordan, what did you think?
I think this is another 10 out of 10 Dead Vectors EP. It's just like it. They still manage to make crazy music that just like boggles our minds every single time. And like I just don't know how they like don't run out of ideas that are all like still unique. Like they have their own sound, but like there's no way they're playing like the same riffs like even remotely close on like any of the songs. And it's crazy because they have like fucking a million fucking
Yeah.
songs. So like even just this like the amount of music they crammed into like under 12 minutes is like insane. Like this is enough to fill like this could be an album. Like if there was like
Mm-hmm.
3 more songs or something like that, it would basically be an album of 2 minute, 1 minute songs, and it would still feel like a complete album. Like I don't know how they do it. Like it feels very like thought out and put together, but that's kind of saying something because it's like all fucking wild and crazy and like there's so many change ups and like different riffs and like different things going on. It's just like crazy music just like throughout and like even like the sound like it just sounds crazy. Like it really reminded me of the Knock Loose album that just came out where it's just like it's just terrifying crazy like what the fuck music. It's just like it literally you just sit there and you're like what the fuck was, but it's good and like it's still easy enough to grasp. Like there's still like there's kind of a structure to it, but there's not a structure to it. Like it's kind of weird because it's like it's a 1 minute song, so how could it possibly have a structure? But it still feels like a complete song on each one. Like it still has like a beginning, middle, and an end, and it's just like these are like 3 minute songs, but they're just 1 minute long somehow. Like it's very weird, but it's really cool. Um, best ones I think was Mauled,
Yeah.
the first song, and Run If You Think You Can Delay the Pain. I think that one was really good too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that too. Mauled is like, come on, you know, everyone loves the hype song, and that's like the hype song. I think the first song as well from the Shadows of Hell, and the They've Conquered Us, They'll Conquer Us All. I really like that one too. All of it is just like I would like to listen to this on like 0.75 speed. I feel like it would still work. It'd be really interesting to kind of hear. I wonder if that's how they do the writing. Like they just like write like metalcore songs and then they just fucking speed it up. But no, I thought this was like Jordan said. This is a 10 out of 10. Just it's super easy to just get into, and like you said, it's like it makes you say what the fuck, but it's like simple at the same time. Like it's not Vilcharta level where you're like, because Vilcharta, you listen to it, you're like, how do these people even make music? And you get that here too, but it's like just with like more aggressive speed. So it's like really fucking interesting how they do that. But I'm gonna say, yeah, like I said, 10 out of 10. I think this is a top tier Dead Vectors release. So appreciate them for putting that out. Super excited to hear their next album whenever that is. Yeah, great job, Dead Vectors, killing it.
This makes me not feel bad about giving the last EP we listened to a lower score.
Oh yeah,
it's just like
and
they
there's
wrote
so
these
much
for, and it's
they
just
make they make something for everyone. There's like, you know, there's so much to choose from. All right. Here we go into the main event. We got a 50-minute album. It's 7-11. That's not too bad as long as we don't take 20 minutes on the review. We'll still get out of here at a decent time. So, now we do have, they have music videos for these, but I think I'm going to leave it. They have a full album stream, which I believe has like some form of closed captions on it that has like some of the lyrics. I don't know how accurate they are, but shit. So I don't know. I kind of want to see the music videos, but that's a lot to go through as well. So they got Killstar, Terminal, Dying Light. I think that's the main ones. So here, let me go ahead and I'll grab these real quick. I'll pull these up. Close this. Terminal, Killstar, and Dying Light. All right. And we'll pull up the album. Got Dying Light first, so we'll go ahead and pull that music video, and here we go. It's not that we didn't like Gravity Wave, it was just lower. I think we gave it like an 8. So RELIQA is a band we've been following for a long time too, and the releases that we've reviewed have been really good. Like, I'm pretty sure I gave them an EP of the year when they put out their EP, or possibly like second.
Yeah, it was really high up on my list.
That reminded me of Peaches. I wonder if Metal Burb has reviewed this yet, because he's the one that showed me this shit. Chill out, Jordan. Chill out, Jordan. You don't even have to. Also, I think it's really cool that they're on Nuclear Blast. That's a pretty big label.
Yeah, that's kind of... They might have, that one band you always talk about.
I know there's...
Sounds like Dying Wish.
Yeah, I know there's someone on... Nuclear Blast bands. Not old bands. I don't know. I'm gonna get shit like Testament. Yeah, whatever. Give me the cookies. Oh, there you go. As Lay Dying. Persian's Crown. They have. That's what I thought was interesting is that Nuclear Blast always has like a lot of fucking metal, like a metal,
Brand of
Carnifex.
Sacrifice.
Oh, they got Comeback Kid.
That might be a European thing.
Yeah, one of those. Despised Icon, Decapitated, Doomy Burger.
Epica. I guess Epica is kind of close-ish.
Exodus, Fallujah, Fear Factory, Gate Creeper, Hate Breed, Immortal, In Flames, Cataclysm.
Immortal's cool.
I like the Torch. No, I don't want to fucking sign in, Mad Ball. Malevolence.
What is that band? They have like 10 people in their band. What the fuck?
Mayan? I don't know. Nightwish.
What the fuck is that band? Shit, I can't remember the fucking name.
Svalbard.
What is their album called? Whore or something? I thought they were on this label.
Alright. Cave, Killstar, Terminal. Alright, here we go. Well, we were just trying to find what band was on there, and I didn't want to do it over the music.
Arch Enemy. What label are they on?
A bass tone, god damn.
Entry Media, the other Nuclear Blast. I missed all alone there. At 2 L's. Oh, I guess it's shitty.
Also, the lyrics here are like generated. These aren't like 100%, so don't. And like I said, I didn't even know that this album was coming out. I went to look at the list and I was like, oh, there's a RELIQA album. I was like, okay.
I did see that they put out new songs a couple weeks ago, but I didn't want to listen to them. One feels very
modern,
industrial new metal.
Oh yeah. I feel like AI is gonna make finding lyrics a lot easier eventually. This one's called Cave, and that kind of little keys kind of make it feel little stalactites, kind of got a little sparkling kind of feel to it. Gotta love the prog bass tone. It's for some reason prog bands. Prog bands are the only bands that focus on having bass tone. I don't know why that is.
Because of Rush.
But every band should do it though.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say just Rush. Just like old prog, roundabout, I guess, like really loud bass.
I feel like this band's gonna get compared to Spirit Box a lot. Especially being in the same kind of little niche, the progressive metalcore.
It's excessive. There's more than 7 ways to sin. So ironic how condemning yourself down is exactly the way in. Would you do it to yourself?
Damn, that flash is like what?
Yeah. It's like
Hands up, pray for the wicked, pay the way up. Sending our love all the way to the top of the fuckers. So chew it up and spit it out like it's offensive. Mask off, no pretending. Sympathy's gone, you spent it. Make it one fun, but who ends it? Hands up, give us something nice to dream about.
A little bit of UK grime in there.
she's always had like a little bit of like a rap tone. Every once in a while, she'll bring it in. A little bit of hip hop. The other reason I think they're gonna get compared to Spirit Box a lot is because of that kind of industrial, new kind of lean. Spirit Box does that a lot too, with the pop and the progressive metalcore. It's kind of all got the same kind of vibe. I feel like this band still leans more into the prog though.
Yeah, Spirit Box slaps away.
Yeah.
Did you do it to yourself? Did you neutralize the shame?
Like it's still, if you really kind of focus on it, they really sound like Monuments. They sound a lot like Monuments. Yeah, I could hear like Chris Barretto or whatever the fuck his name is doing these vocals. Plus, I love that little 16-bit thing on there. My bad.
I have a problem with something I said. I pushed it too far as I became possessed. Lately I've been a stranger, put so much on the line. Walk on glass in the morning so I can rectify the night. I wish I could get under my skin and plant a flower. Let it grow into a garden, so the beauty that you need. I've watched my pride begin to sour. The virtue inside of me can't bear to watch you leave. No, but good or evil, it all starts with a seed.
I wonder if, let me see if the Spotify version has the lyrics on here. I didn't even look.
But the villain in my throat had much more to say. How do I let it out? How do I let it out? How do I sever the vines from around my wrists and freeze from under this brewing storm cloud? How do I let it out? Tell me now, tell me now. I'm on my knees, I'm tangled amongst the reeds. Tighter and tighter, I'm losing the fight to breathe. If I could harvest all my best parts for you, tighter and tighter, I'm losing the fight to breathe. Discarding the rest would be the least that I could do.
No, just the singles. Of course. How y'all doing over there on YouTube, by the way? We got 7 viewers on YouTube, but we ain't getting no comments. Y'all just lurking? It's alright, if you're lurking, you're not gonna say anything.
Dreaming of sunlight, condemned to the dirt. Washing my hands of the sins I have taught and those you learned. And taking some time underground now to salvage the petals I burned.
You have YouTube comments off on my screen? I don't.
To you, then I'll take it,
I wonder what
take it.
happened.
Now watch me.
Because J-Mac was in here earlier. Let me look. Damn, there was a lot of chats. What the hell? Where did it go? Look at my... Close this, and then put the chat back. Close that. Huh. Says error, YouTube unauthorized. Chat. Chat settings. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's just an error or something. But yeah, so apparently Kenny was in here talking and we didn't know the entire time. So that's cool. I'll have to message him. Let me see what he said. So just watch through the. Kenny said just watch through the reaction. Stoked you guys dig it. Appreciate you checking out. Then he had a conversation with Carry the Spark. At least Carry the Spark kept him entertained because we weren't there. I'll have to message him. Oh, Kenny's still in here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is with my. I'm dual streaming to Twitch and YouTube, and so on my end, I just have like the little tool chat, so it's supposed to show Twitch and YouTube, but it's only been showing me Twitch, so I didn't see anybody talking. So that's my bad. I don't know what's going on because I have it so y'all pop up here on the screen, but it's like it says there's an error, unauthorized or something. It says there's an error. Oops. Oh. If I get bass tone still, God.
Not that headless bass sound. Super hi-fi bass.
Also, I don't, Kenny, I don't know if you remember, did I posted our top EPs of the year. Did I put Sentinels in there, right? I'm pretty sure they were my, like, fuck, I can't remember. I had that was really good. I really liked the Sentinels EP. Now I'm gonna pull it up because it's annoying me that I can't remember. Alright, we do have a music video for this. I'll pull it up off screen. Let me see. Since there's a music video in this. Go ahead, Mike. EP of the year. 2022. Why doesn't this shit pop up for me when I search? Top 5 EP.
YouTube thinks you're trying to give yourself views.
Alright. Okay, I got it. I have to type in. I put top 5 EP. I need to put some SEO in there for EP of the year. Got it muted. I think I gave him number 2. And I gave Spirit Box number 1.
This one has some like trance vibes. A little intro.
Yeah, RELIQA is a band from Australia, I believe.
I think so.
Or New Zealand. I get those confused a lot. Don't hate me. That's a very Spirit Box music video. I hate to say. I'm pretty sure there's videos of Courtney writhing on a plastic sheet. In fact. By the way, damn, I never. So I'm. We were going through a tough time in the first half, or I was going through a tough time the first half of this year. I never got around to posting our album of the year video. I did the EP one, but I never got around to editing the album of the year one. It's never too late though. I can still post it. But yeah, I love the Gray album. I think I like that one more than Depths of Self, to be honest. It's really hard. Both of those are like very top tier for me. There's the little trance beat. How are my classes going? I'm not in class right now. It's summer break for me. I'm not doing summer. Check back again in a few months. Really leaning in on the trance. Even the build up. And the little voice echo. I'm very much into EDM, so I notice all the little tropes.
That's a really cool guitar. Got like the Japanese like floppy tuning.
Yeah. That was a pretty interesting one. I'm gonna write that down. Was that Terminal? All right. I think that's it for the music video portions of the album. Play. Oh yeah, I believe I speak for Jordan and myself when I say our favorite song on the Gray album. Let me just check that. Was the Misery Signals ass song on there? I can't remember the name of it. Which one was that one? Was it Aura Life? I think. I think that's the one that sounds like Misery Signals.
Nancy the Betrayer was another good one.
Oh yeah. The song about his little one-wheeler betraying him. We won't ever tour. You might not ever tour, but you know, you could maybe do a show. Just one off. Like be like, hey, you know, we'd travel for that. I'd travel for that. God damn that bass.
Somebody in the same way they freak me out. I'm a freak, I'm a fraud, I'm afraid I'll be paralyzed forever. Keep repeating what I say. Light inside's not here the same, cause it's being corrupted by another. I got a problem, it's nothing like I'm told. Motherfucker, if I'm gonna feel alive, I'm gonna feel it alone.
He's not budging, man. I can't get over that. Like, that's just nasty bass. Ugh. Little kind of industrial little beat right there too. Yeah, just get Sentinels just to play Mauled, just the one song, just the hype song. Like, hey. I would go nuts for that.
Speaking of Deadvectors.
Right? Ooh. Need a little more echo on that reverb on that snare though. A little bah. A little bit too gated, but you know. I'm not gonna let it take away. July 19th is my birthday, but we will be in Colorado, hopefully, for the Misery Signals finale tour. By the way, Jordan, I'm really hoping... And Tana's... I'm really hoping nothing comes up, because my work told me that a spot should be opening on the weekend any day now. So... The problem with that is if I go switched weekends, all my days off that I have requested for the year get reset, and that's why I have to go back in and request them. And since July is next month, basically, I'm really hoping that that weekend will still be free for me to take off, because if not, I don't know. Might have to go to a different day. Don't look at me. I don't want to. What? There's not a different date in Colorado. We could go to one of the dates with For the Fallen Dreams.
But
those are during the week. She says she's gonna divorce me. I can't take the whole weekend off if they won't let me. Don't dox me, No, I don't. I say Fort Worth. Oh, it's the DFW. Is that better? That literally has Fort Worth in the name. Oh my god. You guys are arguing with this. She really wants to go to Colorado. Thing.
I'm trying to go to Colorado. Never been.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. She didn't care about Misery Signals. She wants to go to Colorado in general. It's not only about Misery Signals, that's just one day. one of the I would drop. Do you know that I was one? Jordan, who picked Colorado? Who was the one that said, "Hey, we should go to"? Yeah, yeah. I picked it. Kenny's the vocalist. Aaron is the, I guess, everything else. We got a little Egyptian. It's the Phrygian scale or whatever. It just reminds me of Monuments. It's Monuments ass bass. Really interesting, that little electronic tone on the kick drum trigger. Oh, by the way, Kenny, while you're in here, sorry I never messaged you back. I saw your message. I think I was like at work or something, and so I just never got around to messaging you back. I wasn't ignoring you. I hope you didn't take any offense to what we were saying about that one EP. I was just kind of, you know, thinking, I was kind of just riffing on different ideas that would make it kind of cool about having like some lore or shit. No, it was definitely me being weird. I was like, oh shit, now it's too late. Now it's too late. Now I don't know what to, I don't, can I? I was like, no. Reviews by CH, you know, some bands, some people just want to make music just for, you know, just to kind of put it out there, not really to play.
Physical.
That's kind of how, I'm kind of more like that, but Jordan wants to play shows, and so once I get this transfer, start finishing some songs. Aaron's defense is, I'm busy writing. When we get New Dying Wish, shit. They've been so busy, probably not until next year, if I had to guess.
Yeah, they just did that audio tree like 2 weeks ago. Basically drum and bass rock metalcore.
Very chakran pilled, yeah, I can see that. I did listen to the Chakran album while I was at work, by the way. Since we never got to review it and it was really long. It's basically Born of Osiris if they kept doing the Discovery. That's basically what Chakran is. If they just kept going off of that album instead of what they do now. With cleans. They also have cleans.
Man, she's pissed on this album. Fuck what you made me. Like, damn.
Yeah, tell him to put some lyrics up somewhere. We love having lyrics. Damn it. We got a little melodic song here. Do you remember all the songs? I have a feeling he doesn't. Kenny doing a cyber grind. Kenny's like, I have no idea what that is. Cyber grind is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Is that a genre? It's a sub genre. It's like
metal without the guitar. It's all like.
It's more electronic based. Electronic heavy, if that makes sense. It's more like electronics with heavy vocals that's really fast.
Flip 4.
Kenny listens to 50s jazz. That's his main go-to. This would have been a good ending track. But like the second to last, or well, I guess it's third to last would be, seems kind of fitting too. We have to see how the last song goes. Old-timey show tunes, yeah. Kenny listens to the Fallout soundtracks. It feels so weird. I didn't go to work today, so today feels like Saturday to me. I keep thinking it's Saturday. Is this not a closing song? No, we still have 2 songs left. That's what I was saying. It
And now,
felt like a closing
how
song.
are they gonna have a song called Two Steps Apart and have no 2 steps?
Well, hey, if you think about it, 2 steps apart, and there's 2 more songs left, so it's like 2 steps apart from, you know, was that intentional? You know, you never know.
A spark. What is a spark? How many times will that kind of a feeling come shimmering past the kind I regard with such conviction that it could shift my whole path? Trace my trajectory into the dark, place blind trust into healed scars. They come, they go, like the waves in deep space flow. Sometimes the nights are for most aligned.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I'm still listening.
No force had to guide me, no heart to make whole. Of symmetry. Everything I need could be right here. Slow the seasons and let me off, 'cause I couldn't stop the clock. Stars crossing me for a moment. Fleeting points of symmetry. No time to say goodbye before we finally lost each other to the turning. Everything I need could be right here. Slow the seasons and let me off. Trust me to walk away, and I'll rule the day forever, 'cause I couldn't stop the clock.
We got another kind of slower kind of song too.
I wanna wake up to the sun in my window, taste the cold bitter winter's rain. I wanna keep learning the things that move me. I wanna feel pleasure, I wanna feel pain. I wanna be feminine and be masculine and be motivated and calm. I wanna build up an identity around how I feel in your arms. But if I'm chasing butterflies, then uncertainty is the choice. These rites of passage that I seek get lost to all of this noise. Don't let me lose sight of the fact that I'm never stopping this clock. If a spark's enough to restructure me, then imagine all that it costs. Stars crossing me for a moment.
I really have no idea how they're gonna end this, because they've got 2 like softer songs with a lot of build up. So like, what the fuck are they gonna do in the last one?
Gentler and less cruel. I want to look back in 10 years and feel sincerely that this was a risk worth taking, and I have nothing else left to prove. I wish I could make promises and speak certainties and be true, but truth be told,
Kind of Northlane-ish. It reminds me more of Monuments.
I'll sacrifice my heart to find the power that comes.
I guess you could say newer Northlane. So now I really have no idea what this last song is gonna be. Is it gonna be like a crazy heavy one, or? After what I discovered about the band Saving Vice right after listening to their new album pissed me off, made me crave heavier. I don't know anything about them, but I did listen to a couple songs to see if I wanted to review it, and it didn't sound like anything I wanted to review, so. It was like... Was it modern metalcore? I honestly can't even remember at this point what it sounded like. Or was it like post-hardcore kind of? Accusations, word. Also, by the way, this is technically their debut album. If y'all didn't read this here, they've only had EPs before, so this is their first full-length album. Even though they've been around for a while, like I said. Yeah, I think this album has picked up a lot. The first couple songs were, well, they were still like good, but they didn't have me as much as I had thought. But then as it kept going, I think songs progressively got me more. I do wish that I break down. Hold on, can't talk. I wish the kick was a little bit higher up. It's like a smidge too quiet. Oh, that shit. They just ended that shit. All right. I also feel like one of the other songs should have been the ender song, but. Small nitpick. Small nitpick. It wasn't like bad or anything. I just that one ended like more abruptly. The others had like more of a kind of build up feel to it. All right, discussion. All right, y'all in the chat let us know while we talk about it. Go here so I can pull up the image of the album real quick. Oh, that's right. It's right here. All right, we just listened to the new, technically debut album, full-length album from RELIQA. So now we're going to talk about it a little bit, give you our thoughts, some track highlights, go into a deeper discussion with my co-host Jordan over here, and come back around and give you our ratings for our on-the-spot first listen album review. So RELIQA is a band we've been following around for a while, since they put out, I think, one of their first EPs, or like singles at least. They were requested on our old song request streams, and really kind of stood out. Very unique band, progressive metalcore, pretty genty, you know. And then the vocalist adds in like these little flares of like kind of a hip hop feel at times. Just really interesting kind of mix. And so really liked that about them. I think their EP that they put out, it was last year, the year before that. I don't remember. Absolutely stellar work. So really excited to listen to this one. I thought this was really good. I want to say it's going to take me maybe a couple listens because it is so long. It's 50 minutes. The first couple songs of the album, while really being still really good, and having some interesting stuff, didn't hook me just yet. I think because they did start, the first song was one of their singles and was very more pop kind of infused, not in a bad way or anything. It's just, you know, that was like for the first song on the album. You know, but then, you know, as they went along, it got more kind of progressive to me, and kind of caught my ear a little bit more. So not really a negative, just kind of how I felt about the mood of the album. But yeah, I thought this was really good. They kind of have more of a, I don't want to say this as a negative either. I feel like it's a little toned down on the Relica-ness, that distinct vibe that Relica has, where they have a lot of like switch ups, you know, especially with like the hip hop vocals. But I guess they kind of didn't really want to focus on it as much for like a full length because it's so big. Maybe they kind of stand out more on the single releases. I didn't get as much of that in here. I feel like she kind of only did that on a few songs, maybe like 4 of them, I want to say. I could be wrong on that number, but I did kind of notice that. I feel like it is slightly more digestible, but not really, again, in a negative way. It's still extremely progressive. It's very much progressive metalcore to me. You want to argue just progressive metal, but you know, there's still a lot of metalcore elements. There's breakdowns all over the place, to be honest. I want to say the band this reminds me of the most is Monuments. One of my favorite bands, the Amanuensis, is a top like 5 album of all time for me. Absolutely incredible, and this reminds me a lot of that. Newer Monuments doesn't have a lot of the same kind of groove as Amanuensis had, and so I get a lot of that from here, and it reminds me so much of that. So I think that's one of the things I appreciate about this album so much, especially with the bass tone. That's one of my favorite parts of this album, is the bass tone, because there's so many of the songs, the bass is just like right there. They give a lot of space to it with like the whole, you know, the gentiness of the guitar, well, the syncopation or whatever the fuck. There's a lot of space for the bass to breathe, and you kind of, there's just like times where it's just like, oh my god, it sounds so fucking good. The bass is just incredible on this. And speaking of that, when I was talking about Monuments, I hope this band, I feel like this band is going to get compared to Spirit Box a lot. A lot of people will do that because they see a girl vocalist, it sounds like Spirit Box. And they do kind of have some of the same vibes as Spirit Box, you know, the kind of soaring, poppy, clean like choruses and stuff like that, and the verses. It does remind me of Spirit Box in that way, with the fem vocals, but outside of that, I think it really is. To me, it sounds more like old Spirit Box. Again, more like Monuments. Very progressive, metal focused. Newer Spirit Box doesn't really have as much of that. They are, but in a completely different way. Like this has a lot more of that gent kind of tone to it. Still not quite gent, but it's got that kind of groove to it that Spirit Box doesn't really have. So I kind of hope that they don't get compared to them a lot, because it is kind of different. But yeah, that's just one note that I had on here. Anyways, back to the production of the album. I think the production on here is really good. However, I did have a couple notes about the drum tones. I think that the drum work is pretty perfect. I love all the drum work. Some great fills and ghost notes and all that. There's even some like really nice like double bass sections that like the huertas that like they come in out of nowhere. But the kick is a little bit it's a little bit buried under the rest of the mix. The guitar and the vocals are really up there. The snare is is fine. I like where the snare is volume wise, but that kick is just kind of buried. So when they do those things, when they bring in the double bass and they kind of kick it up a notch, it's very subtle, but in like a too subtle kind of way. It's like I almost missed it, so I wish that was a little bit toned up. Also, there are times another part of the drum production is the snare. I like the snare volume, but it feels like it's a little gated at times. There's certain like parts of the breakdowns and stuff where the snare comes in and it hits, but it's gated. It just cuts off, and it feels like it just needs some of that reverb to kind of make it kind of like fill out a little bit more. So that's like one slight negative that I have on here. I'm more picky about drum sounds, I guess. I don't know. But really that's about it. I still think this was really good. And like I said, for giving me that kind of progressive groove feel and the catchiness of the Amanuensis. Not many bands can hit that kind of vibe. And the fact that there is a band that can do that, RELIQA, because here's my example. I love to use this all the time. Periphery is my favorite band of all time. The Amanuensis, that album, I like that album more than all of Periphery. Unfortunately, the rest of Monuments isn't as good as the Amanuensis. I hold the Amanuensis is my that's my bar. So if anything can touch on that, it's a huge positive for me. That's about it. I want to say track highlights. Killstar was really good. Soraya was one of my real favorites on here. It was a really kind of pretty song, but it gets really heavy at the end. And really nice bass tone in there. Terminal, that one was the one that had a very trancey kind of vibe, even had like the trance build up and everything. That was really cool. Jordan pointed that out. Keep Yourself Alive, that one was or Keep Yourself Awake, my bad. I wrote that wrong. That one had some of the most sexual bass tone I'd ever heard. That one was like, oh, that was so good. I love when that fucking bass comes in. And then Physical, that one had the kind of like Phrygian kind of scale, the little Egyptian scale, but it also had like some really electronic notes, which by the way, I didn't mention the electronics. There's a lot of really cool electronic work in here that I found was really nice. They have like little tones that would like tie in as like a trigger for the with the drums, so it kind of gave it like an extra little to it. I think that's also what kind of made me notice how much the rest of the bass of the drums were kind of buried, was because when it didn't have those little interesting notes, it was like, okay, where's the but anyway, so as you can see, those songs, Soraya, Terminal, Keep Yourself Awake, Physical, all that right here, right at the middle of the album. So right once you get right here is when it really starts picking up for me, is that whole like end section. Oh, and one last final note I had was Two Steps Apart and A Spark were both very similar songs. They had there were softer kind of songs that had really big buildups, and there were like really cool moments on both of them. Either one could have been a really good ender song. I feel like they should have taken Upside Down and flipped it in between those two to let one of those other two be an ender track. It felt, because Upside Down kind of just ended abruptly. which is fine. You know, again, I just a little nitpick for me. I think it would have just made it feel like so much better just to have that kind of nice little build up right at the end. But yeah, that's it for my part. Jordan, what did you think of the album?
I thought it was really good, although I don't think I like it as much as the last EP. Just because I feel like a lot of those like really standout moments that they had on the EP, they don't really utilize those too much. Like there's a few on this album, but I feel like those a lot of those kind of like really technical moments with like a lot of really cool bass work was kind of missing in this album, in place of kind of more of like a more digestible kind of modern uh, pop feel kind of, without it being too poppy. It's, you know, it's still pretty heavy and pretty um, progressive for what it is, but I feel like they did take a lot of notes from a lot of the more, you know, popular music that's out there right now, which isn't bad. I mean, if they're trying to get bigger, they're, you know, trying to get a more wide audience. Um, I can definitely understand that, but I feel like if they would utilize a lot of those moments a lot more on this album, it would have stood out a lot more just because of the contrast of what's out there now, and there's not really a lot of that kind of like really kind of like technical and progressive stuff, other than like the, you know, the big bands that are already doing it, like Polyphia and like all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it was missing a little bit of that kind of like uniqueness to it. But even saying that, the moments that are on this album are very, very standout. Mostly with the bass. Like 90% of the standout moments are with the bass on this album. Um, well, maybe not 90. I'd say maybe
Yeah.
like 60%, and then like the rest was just like overall kind of like the vocals and just the writing overall. It's because there are little intricacies that the vocalist uses that, you know, kind of just bring out those unique kind of moments. Especially with like the kind of hip hop kind of flow that she has. A little bit of like UK rap kind of feel in there, which is really, really unique, especially with her voice, you know, being a female, you know, front person, and having that is very unique in tone, and style, because, you know, there's not really anybody else that's doing that. Even with like the rapping vocals, not really too many bands kind of utilize that. I feel like a lot of the time it can be like corny just because of like Attila and bands like that. Um, but I feel like a lot of bands could, you know, kind of bring that influence in too. I mean, if Knock Loose can play fucking reggaeton beat in like one of the heaviest songs, I feel like a lot more bands can utilize other influences like that without it being too overt. It just really has to be nicely done and nicely placed, um, where it makes sense and it's not overdone. Which I do think it's pretty well done on this. You know, uh, only wishing there was a little bit more of it, just because it does bring in a different kind of feel to it. Um, yeah, I mean, those were really a lot of the standout moments on that last EP was, uh, but I feel like there's maybe 3 or 4 of those moments, especially with like the rapping kind of like flow. It's really only on a couple songs, but, you know, in place of that, they still do have those soaring choruses and really big, huge, you know, giant moments that just kind of like blow you away, and then they have like those really crushing heavy breakdowns that really contrast with that and still really work in the context of everything, especially on songs like Soraya, Physical, Two Steps Apart, A Spark, you know, where they really have those kind of like softer bass songs, but they really build and build until the end, and then they have like those big breakdowns kind of at the end. Um, which I do think a couple of the songs utilize that kind of a little bit more. Um, which I can see some people saying, "Oh, that kind of sounds a little similar," which it does. Which I can see why Michael said kind of like flip those songs around a little bit, and it would kind of like space it out a little bit more, and I think it would definitely float a lot better. I also do agree that you know, uh, I think Two Steps Apart probably could have been the album closer. But I do understand why they had Upside Down as the album closer because it just kind of ends at that, you know, kind of really abruptly. So I feel like that was more of like a stylistic choice of just like cutting it right there and having it be like, that's it. Because this album definitely kind of has that kind of like I don't want to say like urgent feeling, but it's like a upbeat but very like resentful just because the contrast of like the vocals and the flow of the vocals and like the tone of the vocals, but like a lot of the lyrics I could make out, with the shitty captions where they definitely seemed very angry and very like resentful. Like it seemed like a lot of it was about like a breakup or something. Uh, she keeps talking about some other girl doing some fucked up stuff and fuck fuck what you made me and like all this kind of stuff, and it's very like very aggressive in feel. Even on one of the songs she kind of like breaks out into an actual scream like just for like one word, and it's like right there, but it was like placed just nicely to where it's like right at the peak of like the heavy moment, and it just kind of like feels like a build up, and then it just finally breaks, and it was a really cool moment, especially when 99.9% of the rest of the vocals are all just clean vocals, and there's really no screaming other than that one little moment, which it really makes it stand out. Yeah, definitely really angry, but not in like angry as in tone, but angry as in feel. Like you can really feel the words that she's talking or saying. Um, Very good lyrics. I thought the lyrics on, particularly on the flower and Soraya, were cool because flower is about being a flower, and I guess metaphorically. And then one of the lines on Soraya, she says something along the lines of like "put me in a glass" or something like that. You know, and it kind of carries that kind of like imagery, through both of those songs. So I definitely think those were some pretty strong moments right there, just with like the connectivity and like the progressive. We really like that those moments where they kind of like tie things together. It really helps everything feel really cohesive. Um, yeah, I think, like I said, probably my favorite songs would probably be The Flower, Soraya, Terminal. Those are all really good. And then Physical and Two Steps Apart. Those are also really, really good. So yeah, definitely really good, but I think it's a little bit safe, especially compared to that EP. There was just so many moments, like it was just nonstop on that EP of just like here's a cool part, here's a cool part, here's another cool part, here's a really, chill out moment, and then here's some more cool parts, just back to back to back. But I feel like this was a little bit more subtle and a little bit more subdued. Um, and I think they did uh, kind of a good job, placing a couple solos in there, just to kind of like add a little bit of a different feel and add kind of a little bit of more of that like uh, technical melodic kind of side that they have. Um, but I feel like this album was definitely more focused on like the heavy moments and the really big poppy choruses, but also like there's a lot of really kind of progressive moments on this. It is a progressive album, but like there's like some very specifically progressive moments, especially on like The Flower and Soraya, where they have those really big open like ambient kind of sections where it's just the vocals and maybe like some drums in the background and like electronics. And I feel like a lot of those moments were a lot of my favorite ones, and definitely More of those were in the middle and towards the end of the album. I feel like the first couple songs were definitely more straightforward kind of single songs, which I can see that because most of the music videos were all at the front. So um, that's just kind of like a gripe that I have with some bands, where a lot of the times they'll put the singles all at the beginning of the album, kind of back to back, and it's like, oh well, I've already heard all these songs, and it kind of lessens it a little bit. I'd rather have a band put those singles and stuff kind of like throughout the album, just because a lot of the times, because there are singles, there are more of like the bigger, kind of like more accessible songs. So I can definitely see why they do it, but they should have kind of sprinkled it in more and not just have those like first couple songs be the more kind of straightforward songs. Really feel like if they would have started out with like maybe Terminal, I feel like that would have been like a really good album opener, just because that one had like that one was very unique. It had that kind of like trance and like electronic EDM feel. And I feel like that would be like something that could really, grab the listener and have them kind of hooked throughout the rest of the album. But they kind of just went with the more straightforward songs at the beginning. But that's like a little bit of a nitpick, here or there. Overall, I do think it's really good. I just wish there was a couple more of those like really cool, progressive, like technical moments.
All right. What would you rate this then?
I'm gonna give it an 8. There is a little bit like the flow of the album was a little off, just because it was really like bottom heavy. Like a lot of the really good songs were towards the end of the album, so you're kind of they're not bad songs at the beginning, but it felt like, oh well, I kind of got to get through these songs so I can get to like the really like meaty part of the album. But that's only a little bit of a point off, and I think the album closers, I think those could have been swapped a little bit, and then like another point off for like having less of those really standout cool moments.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I say probably. I would say also a not an 8. It could be a 9 as well. I think, but I think 8 is pretty good. For where I'm at. I think like I want to say it's a little too long. Like if they could have cut one of the songs, like maybe Dying Light, but that's also one of their singles, one of their main singles, and it probably just would have fit somewhere else in the album. So I can't really say to take it off either. Just maybe it's just the flow, like you said, made it feel a little long. But the rest of the album, like I said, there are a lot of interesting stuff in here, and a lot of moments where I was like, oh, that is so cool. But again, I did say it was a little, less RELIQA. She had a little less of the moments of the cool hip hop things and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe because they're on a bigger label now, they tried to reach a more standard audience, but again, they still had a lot of really cool stuff in here at the same time. So it's like, as long as they have a little bit of that balance, I'm good with it. And I think 8 out of 10 is still really solid for, a 50-minute long album. So, they went for it. And, again, still, I got a lot of really cool moments out of this, and I appreciate them for that. So, yeah, I'll go with the 8 out of 10 as well. Still really good, and still just a really unique band in my opinion. I really like a lot of the stuff they're doing. So 8 out of 10 for me, 8 out of 10 for Jordan. Great job to RELIQA. All right. See, Carry the Spark says, great band, especially considering they have no harsh vocals. Not that it needs it, but cool. Focuses on clean singing with some rapping sections, but not in a cringy way. Yeah, she makes it kind of fit in an interesting way. Definitely did a lot more technical vocal patterns before. It's more straightforward now. Reviews by ZH has some Spirit Box moments, but this is more of like new novelist, vocalist cleans, makes newish novelist would lean into that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. So I still think they're really one of the most unique bands out there right now. So hopefully, maybe they'll still lean into that. I hope they don't. Their label doesn't Spirit Boxify them or something. Let Spirit Box be their thing and let RELIQA be their thing, because I think they have their own unique style. So, all right, we appreciate y'all for coming. It's getting late. We won't be back here till next week. I've got So What on Sunday. If anybody in here is going, I highly doubt it. But I will be there, so look out for me there. But yeah, we appreciate y'all for coming. Zeus Bolts. We had Kenny in here earlier. JM. Hi JM. Thanks for coming as well. Carry the Spark. Views by ZH. I know True Wants Band was in here as well. So appreciate y'all for coming, and we'll see y'all next week. So Old Ed Mike, Young Ass Jordan reminding you, never too old for this.